So if you have tightness in your solar plexus, tightness in your upper back, mid back, tightness in your trapezius, headache, that's all yellow energy. And then you've got green, which is kind of like, love. So the way it works in energy work is that you don't connect to the body parts, you connect to the energy that's in the body.
Today I'm continuing my conversation with energy healer and Thai massage teacher Robert Henderson, and in the first part of our conversation he shared how to get to know and recognize energy, and now it's all about the applied applications of what is it like to have a Thai massage energy healing session, and all of that and so much more is coming right up. To me, the fact that you're talking about the throat in particular definitely speaks to me, because for the course of, as I started to become, I suppose, a more in tune person and getting to understand myself, that is definitely where I've felt like the most blockage in my life. Yeah. So it's felt like opening up the throat was just something that is part of my path. And it's very enlightening to hear you say that it's like the heart that you wants to come through, and that to be able to speak authentically and speak from the heart. And because of whatever reasons, I've stopped myself from doing that, and therefore that's why I would feel that in my throat. And then I guess I'm just also wondering, so if someone has let's say a restriction there in the throat area, the throat chakra, so then how do you treat that? How would you help that?
Okay, well, first of all, as I said, there's just the very simplistic approach of either using hands-on or hands-off and to use heat. Mm-hmm. But also what you can get is, like, again, with my own understanding of that this is something related to a blockage in communication, I would say to the person very, very gently, I would say that I have found from my experience that, if you have this coldness and contraction here, and especially if you're one of these people who are doing at night, you have tightness, in the jaw muscles. Yeah. That this is you trying to say something, but you're actually too afraid to say it. Then what I say is, like, as part of the treatment, here and now between you and me, in this room where there's nobody else around, A, does that make any sense to you? And B, now's your opportunity just to express yourself a little bit. Even so, I will always say to somebody, is there something that you need to say? And I'll say it in a very, very nice way, that I'm a stranger, so I don't know anything about you or your background or anybody in your life. So no matter what you say, I'm not going to judge you. My job is just to allow you to say it and to encourage you to say it. It's not always easy at the beginning, because people are, they can be afraid or not ready or not feeling comfortable enough to speak. But sometimes they will talk. They will have, and sometimes I would say, just whisper in my ear, and I will literally, I will bring my ear, like, to hear. And they'll say, like, I don't like my boyfriend very much. So they will start, I need to leave him. So they will start as a little whisper. And the little whisper, like, is the start. So I would just say, like, again, very good. And I would encourage them. And I'd say it again. And again. And again. And as long as they can get, it's no good whispering. You have to almost, like, by the act of actually speaking out loud and projecting is actually you moving the energy out from here, through here and out. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get people to do in a very, very nice way is to get them to project out. And even at the beginning, if it's a bit like a whisper, that's the start. And a lot of people will say, but I've written it down in my diary. I've written it down in my journal. So I've expressed myself in my journal. And I say, no, the words are there in your journal. You've written them down, and you're reading them back with your eyes, but your mouth isn't moving. You're not saying it. So even if you ever do read back your journal, read it to yourself out loud when there is nobody else in the room, because if there's somebody else in the room, they'll think you're bonkers. But the idea is, express it, get it, there is the saying, get it off your chest. Yeah. So what I'm trying to very gently encourage people to do is get it off their chest, because I know that there is a need to express something.
Well, that's beautiful. And I do think that that is pretty radical approach in Thai massage, only because, in my experience, I think that a lot of people feel like the
Today
ideal
I'm continuing my
session is one that
conversation
happens
with
in
energy
silence.
healer and Thai massage teacher Robert Henderson, and in the
it's like
first
this
part of our
reverent kind of
conversation he
creating a
shared how
space
to
of
get to
just,
know and recognize energy,
some kind of
and now
peace
it's
that
all about the
equates with
applied
silence, and
applications
let
of
it be that.
what is it
And
like
that,
to have a
when
Thai
clients
massage
talk too
energy
much,
healing
they
session,
feel like that might be a
and all of that
distraction, or
and
it's
so
like
much
something
more
you're
is
trying to
coming
work away
right up.
from. Whereas here you're dialing into it and saying that this is a really powerful way to release energy. And it sounds like, if something is physically going on in your body, any kind of stress in your body that has an energetic component, an important part of helping that is to talk.
Yeah, it is. It's like, to a certain extent, it's almost like as a therapist, you become your client's secret best friend for the duration of that treatment. And they always say that a problem shared is a problem halved, or a problem, whatever it is. So I think it is important for some people. They're not used to releasing things through their body. They're not used to releasing things by being massaged or having it massaged out of them. They're used to talking about their stuff. And by talking about their stuff, it brings them down. So I really have no problems with people talking. And some people will actually, they will be talking for the first 25 minutes of the session. Secretly, I've switched out and let them talk because I'm getting on with my job, But after about 20, maximum 20, 25 minutes, they're finished the talking. And as they're finished the talking, then I can get in a little bit deeper. But they have helped the process. They've actually opened themselves by actually talking. So for me, I'm actually all for people talking.
Yeah.
And even at the beginning of the treatment, even when I'm just like at the beginning, like massaging their feet, I can be having a "how was your day" type conversation with them.
Right.
Because again, it's just another bridge in to making the connection with the person. It's making them feel a little bit more comfortable, as it were. It's a bit more friendly. It helps with the trust. It's just a way in. But there's also nothing wrong with the, as you say, the silent prayer and the gathering of yourself, and just making sure that you are centered in yourself, and then starting to work like that. Either way works.
When you're working, so just to get again more of a sense of how you incorporate energy work into a Thai massage, can you describe it? Like, is there all the movements and the dynamic aspects that one often associates with Thai massage, and then some of the kind of focused pressing that you're talking about, or is there more to it, or what else? How would you describe it?
Okay, it's a little bit difficult to explain if you are not a person who is sensitive, or you can read energy. I'll do a very quick demonstration. In doing energy work, you don't really need to use massage technique because your connection to the person's body is very, very different, okay? This is kind of like the difference between Thai massage as body work and Thai massage as energy work, okay?
Uh-huh.
You see that? That's a knee, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, usually in massage, a body worker, when they're massaging this part of a person's body, will go, "That's a knee." And they will see hair, skin, fascia, bone, muscle, connective tissue, okay? That's your normal thing. And you would work on that level. And on that level, you can use technique, and you can use stretching and twisting or whatever it is. But in energy work, you don't see that. In energy work, what you see is a bunch of colors on the person. So you might see a bit of red, a bit of green, a bit of yellow, a bit of gray. These are all different kinds of energy that are stored in the body. And each one has got a different characteristic, and each one causes a different physical reaction in the body. So you got black, which is, amongst other things, fear or pain. Mm-hmm. So it makes the body go cold, and it makes the body go heavy. You've something like gray, which is the energy of insecurity. So that makes the body sticky. So if you've ever massaged someone and the skin is sticky, that's a sign that the person you're massaging is feeling insecure.
Okay.
You've got yellow, which is, amongst other things, the energy of anger, stubbornness, the person who's in their head all the time. This is an energy that makes the body tight. It's a very dry energy. So you would actually treat the energy. So for instance, let's say condition, like, the first condition that I find in their body when I start massaging them is a black condition, okay? So let's say it is the energy of pain. This is like, it's a mixture of both physical pain and an underlying emotional pain, okay? Caused by something having, it's caused by either somebody or somebody doing something hurtful to this person, either in the present or in the past. And the person is still holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this means is if the person is still holding on to it, it means that there is an impression of that old event still being held in the body.
Okay.
And energetically, what happens is that the person who created this pain in the person, it's almost like the perpetrator of that event leaves their mark in the client's body. It's still in the client's body because the client hasn't let it go or released it. So I will actually look at this energy, and as the perpetrator leaves their mark, almost another way of looking at it is that the perpetrator, I have this ready on a piece of paper,
Mm-hmm.
the perpetrator leaves their thumbprint, leaves their fingerprint on the person's body. As soon as I find the thumbprint, it's just like a normal thumbprint, a fingerprint. I have the identity of the person. So when a person comes to me for a massage, and if I find that they have been hurt in the past, and I'm going to treat them like, energetically or emotionally, I find the imprint, I find the thumbprint of the perpetrator of the hurt. So I find out, and this is without the client telling me, I find out who it is, I find out what they have done, which is kind of important because sometimes the client actually doesn't have the full picture of what happened to them. Mostly important, I find out why the perpetrator did that thing to the client. Then what happens is that I have this imaginary conversation with the perpetrator of the hurt, and I ask them, what happened in your life to cause you to do this to my client? And usually it's because the person who caused the client their hurt, that person has been hurt themselves. So I create the space to allow the perpetrator to tell their story. And that's kind of like, I have to listen, without judgment to get the full story. And then at the end, then I will ask the perpetrator, was it your intention for this to happen to this person who is now my client? Was it your intention for this to happen? And although the perpetrator hurts the client, 100 times out of 100 times, the answer is always, no, I never meant for this to happen.
Yeah.
When you reach that part of the perpetrator saying, I didn't mean for this to happen, the next thing they say is automatically they say, I'm sorry. And when they say they're sorry, then what they do is they let go. And when they let go, then what happens is that the client is actually set free. On a very subtle spiritual level, the client is actually set free of the event and the subsequent physical effects that they have in their body relating to that event.